This is technology that doesn't even exist.
What was it about this reactor that made you think that it didn't exist?
This was a small reactor, hemisphere about the size of a basketball. When it was running, it produced a gravitational field of its own. Now, this is something that we can't do. We can't produce any gravity. The only way we get gravity is from large quantities of mass. But there's no machine we can have that turns on that makes gravity. Like you can turn on an electromagnet and it makes a magnetic field. We can't make a gravitational field. This device was producing that. Barry said, almost like he was bragging, go ahead, try and touch the sphere. And I couldn't. It pushed my hands away.
So like when you take two magnets and try to press them together and
yeah, you
push
have
against
that
each other.
cushion feeling. Can't get them together. The closer you put them, the more they push. But
And you felt that physically
with
your
my hand. Yeah, now there's nothing that does that. That immediately caught my attention, going, wow, this is something else. That was the first time I knew that this is really something different.
There is an extremely classified document dealing with religion, and it's about that thick. Period. But why would there be any classified material dealing with religion?
I want to go back to the religion thing. I want you to say it.
It's so far out.
All right, your objection has been noted.
Okay.
What does it say?
That we're containers. That's how supposedly the aliens look at us. That we are nothing but containers.
Containers of?
Containers. Maybe containers of souls. You can come up with whatever theory you want, but we're containers, and that's how we're mentioned in the documents. That religion was specifically created, so we have some rules and regulations for the sole purpose of not damaging the containers.
The souls? Meaning?
Well, the souls or the bodies, whatever. That's
meaning like we're containers for souls that they're going to use at some other point.
Right.
And that they had something to do with different prophets and biblical figures?
Yes.
Watch carefully. As salt is sprinkled onto mercury, surprisingly, it not only fails to blend, but the mercury actually avoids the salt and moves away. It's important to know that mercury is a silver-colored liquid metal. Though toxic to some extent, it is frequently used in experiments. For instance, when mercury comes into contact with gold foil, it swiftly engulfs the foil. By continuously adding gold foil, the volume of the mercury gradually increases. However, when it encounters an iron nail, things are different. In the brief moment of contact, the mercury seems to come to life, constantly changing shape and trembling, like a beating heart. When the iron nail is removed, the trembling of the mercury immediately ceases, only to resume when they touch once again. But the situation changes when aluminum metal is used. Although aluminum doesn't cause the mercury to tremble, it reacts with the mercury, creating a new substance. At the point of contact between the two, a continuous growth of white fluffy material occurs, resembling the Pharaoh's snake chemical experiment. So, what reaction will occur with salt? When mercury is poured onto salt, no matter how much it is stirred, they won't blend. Then, placing salt on top of the mercury in a dish. At this point, the mercury seems to deliberately avoid the salt, consciously staying away from where the salt is. Do you know the principle behind this?
Oh, you see, these sort of things.
Okay, why is no one talking about this movie? This is the future. This is where we're heading. This is already here. Oh, look at that little lady. What is she doing?
I was born in 2026, after the corn syrup droughts.
That's 3 years from now.
Oh my god, that's creepy, man. Oh, what? Oh, yeah, this is interesting. See, you must are very creative. Oh, a man gives water to a predator bird, overwhelmed by the heat. When sensing good intentions, even the world becomes kind. Ah, thanks for this, man. This is a good vibes video. Oh, and it shows love and just compassion. You see, and love can win everything. Even it can win chaos and disaster and even bad vibes. You see, this is nice, man. Oh, you see this wonderful good vibes guy here is chilling with some good vibes elephant. You see the elephant is even flapping its ears. This elephant is happy because of this guy. This is good vibes. You see, the elephant is just happy because of how this guy is touching
Don't
it
get too
and
close to this
admiring it.
mutant
Ow!
deer.
Believe it or not, this little guy right here is actually a little bit more dangerous to humans than you might think. This is a TikTok video that I've been tagged in numerous times, and the main focal point of this video are these openings right here on this deer's head. While this person is feeding this deer, the openings in its face, which are actually glands, are popping out non-stop. And it does kind of look like something you would see in Guardians of the Galaxy. The deer that we're looking at here are known as muntjac deer, and these openings right here are scent glands that they use to mark their territory. This is also a great way for them to communicate with one another, and typically they're going to be larger in males. This is not the only strange thing that these deer have over other deer. They're also known as vampire deer because they have these two fangs that protrude on either side of their face. These are also going to be much larger in males, and it's thought that these are also used to attract mates as well. Now, with that being said, muntjac are actually quite small deer, but they're actually pretty aggressive if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Martin, what are imaginary numbers?
Imaginary numbers are one of the weirdest things in mathematics, and they're absolutely indispensable in things like physics. I'll explain that a little bit later. Unfortunately, we have to understand what a square root is. I think most people will probably know that, but if you multiply 2 by 2, you get 4. So 2 is the square root of 4. So the square root of any number is a number that you multiply by itself to get that number. So the square root of 9 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. I should add at this point, and this is fairly important, that minus 2 is also the square root of 4. Because if you multiply minus 2 by minus 2, you get 4. A minus times a minus is a plus. It's easy to prove. I'll perhaps do it in another video. Anyway, so everything's kind of fine and dandy, isn't it? Unfortunately, square roots of numbers are very often what is called irrational. So the square root of 2 is 1.414, something else, goes on forever. If you multiply 1.414 by 1.414, you get 2. So that's the square root. So they're not always nice and pretty, like square root of 9 is 3. But anyway, as long as you've got the notion of what a square root is, let's talk about the square root of minus 1. So what two numbers, or what number multiplied by itself gives minus 1? Well, it's not minus 1. Minus 1 times minus 1 is 1. It's not minus 1. So if you can find a number that multiplied by itself gives minus 1, please write a paper about it and submit it to the Nobel Committee, because you'll get a Nobel Prize. Anyway, because we can't find a number that multiplied by itself gives minus 1, we invent a new number. We call it I, the letter I. So I times I equals minus 1. Sorry, equals 1. No, sorry, equals minus 1. So I squared equals minus 1. Well, what is I, you might say? Well, we don't know what it is. It's a number we've invented. Now, you might think, well, this is all a bit wacky, but it isn't. You can't do quantum mechanics without imaginary numbers. And I appears in the Schrödinger equation, which is the foundational equation, really, in quantum mechanics. So you can create any imaginary number by multiplying it by I. So 10I is an imaginary number. So if you multiply 10I by 10I, what do you get? You get minus 100, because the 10 by the 10 makes 100, and the I multiplied by the I makes minus 1. So it's minus 100. Now, this does go further. I should add that electrical engineering wouldn't be possible at all without imaginary numbers. But we can combine these imaginary numbers, like 10I or 3I or whatever, with what we consider to be the ordinary numbers. So you're going to have 6 plus 3I. And that's called a complex number. I'm not going to go into it here because I imagine you're already kind of brain fatigued from this. But complex numbers are wonderful things. I shall do a separate video on complex numbers, I think. But remember, an imaginary number involves a quantity that we cannot compute, namely the square root of minus 1. And most engineering topics and most of physics would not be possible without using this imaginary quantity called I.
Oh man, that's interesting. Very interesting.
Are you surprised at this? Don't worry, I will teach you how to do a chicken, how to produce a chicken. Watch this video very carefully. Now, follow the instructions and you will have a lot of chickens manufactured through this way. Cut a leaf of a lemon tree. Cut it, follow the process. Just follow the process. This is an egg, a white egg, a clean white egg. Open a small hole inside it. This is aloe vera. Aloe vera. Cut a piece and take the oil from it. This is eggplant. This is eggplant. Cut a bit and fix together with this cut tree. This is honey. Mix it up with honey. Then go back to the egg and put the cut tree. This is a pot of sound, a garden sound. Place the egg on inside the pot of sound and spread some water. Spray a very good amount of water. Leave it for a while. 4 weeks later, can you see the first result? This is the first result. Continue to spray water on it to allow the tree to grow very well. After 9 weeks, can you see the lemon tree has grown? Just watch carefully. Continue to spray water because it needs more water to be effective. "15 weeks later, my dear, check out the result. It has produced X, number of X. And we're going to open one for a confirmation." Wow. Can you see the chicken baby is out now? That is the result of the whole theory which we did, and it worked. Thank you for watching. Follow us for more. We shall show you another method.
Hey, my brother is from West Africa. Oh,
These are amazing, ancient, sometimes scary, unexplained artifacts. Here we go. A couple that was taking a walk between 1934 and 1936 discovered what is now known as the London Hammer. Soon after discovering this, they turned it into a group of archaeologists, and this is what the archaeologists found out. What they discovered is amazing, that this rock encasing the hammer is actually about 400 million years old, and that's way before any kind of life could have made this hammer. What's crazier is that the hammer itself is over 500 million years old according to their first measurements. The handle itself is starting to turn itself into coal, it's so old. The hammer's head, which is 96% iron, is impossible for nature to achieve without the assist of some sort of technology. Could this be some sort of alien technology throwing the hammer down? Maybe while these aliens were out doing the pyramids, they dropped their fucking hammer. There are no part 2s in these videos, so please give me a like, follow, and comment. Thank you.
Oh, do you think that was the law of the past or what? Oh, please leave some comments, man. Or whose hammer do you think that was? Oh, look at this. Some windy. Oh, that is creep, man. Oh, good people of us. Did you see that? Ah!
No shit. Seriously, I gotta try that. I think I've got a cable around here that I haven't been able to get a lock off for a while. Haven't been able to use the cable. Yep, here it is. Well, let's string it up and see if we can get that lock off of there. All right, here we go. Haven't been able to find this key for a long time. I hope this works. Yeah! Woo! Yes! Now I can use my cables. Oh.
How? Do you think that you
Have a go of this. Watch these walls. Oh my fucking god, bro. What?
Oh man, that is so beautiful. What is wrong with someone's cat? Oh my god. The face like hugging the pillars in the house and staying in some funny way. Oh, how do you think the cat has seen? Huh? Can anyone please explain this to us? What's going on here? Oh my god. What is this? What is this now? What type of physics is this? Or is this chemistry or what is this? Oh yeah. Oh my god. How is this possible? Is this normal for water or all types of water? Oh, this is interesting. What type of effect is that?
Okay, so you want to activate your pineal gland and open up your third eye. It's actually very straightforward, but it takes practice. So what you need to do is very simple. Understand that your energy center is based here, where the solar plexus is and the sacral chakra is. So we need to push that energy up, and how we do it is by awakening it through breath work. So by inhale, exhaling, abdominal breathing, that will awaken your energy center. Then from there, what you do is you draw the breath in. When you draw the breath in, you must create the root lock. So lock tight, contract the energy there and bring it up. When you bring it up to third eye, hold the pressure there at full breath. When you hold, you want to squeeze the lock. It's almost like you need the bathroom, but you're trying to hold it and you squeeze that root lock. When you squeeze, you feel this chemical release. Then you know the pineal gland is being activated and the third eye is starting to open.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh. Lasers can reach the moon. We live inside a stationary Earth with the local moon and sun. That is someone's opinion, you see? Do you agree or disagree with it? What do you think about it? But if racers can really reach the moon, that is creepy. And it's beyond what we think or what have been taught at school. You see? Because from my understanding, the moon and the sun are things that are very far in some places where for us to reach there it will take us years. But now if we can point at them with some laser, what is not working there, good people of Earth? You see? Is everything okay there? Is the science doing the science stuff? See? Leave some comments. Yeah, man. Because that is so somehow creepy. Oh man, look at this. This is so beautiful. Oh, that is the sun that is just below the clouds. Well, screen. Oh. Mm-hmm. Oh, God. Oh. This is interesting, man. Look, you see, these guys can point at the moon with a laser. Wait, you guys, how is this possible? Please, science people watching, good people of us that are watching and understand this stuff, please leave some comment. See, sometimes this thing really doesn't my mind. You see? This is I have to ask some friend of mine that knows a lot of stuff, and he has been telling me stuff about some of the things you see on this video. And I wonder how he gets that information. You see? Now this one I have to ask him if the sun or the moon is really that far. You see? That guy will also react to him some video soon so that you hear and you see and understand how it works. You see? Anyway, man, much love to you guys. This is creepy, man. Oh my God, no.
You have a brain that has 2 lobes, 5 divisions. You have your left brain and your right brain. One is called logical, the other is called rational. Actually irrational, because the right brain is like a 5-story building, a block square, and the left brain's like a Quonset hut. You've got the left brain controlling a 5-story building with everything you can think of in it, and this is where we give most of our attention to the so-called logical brain. So once the logical brain, which supposedly differentiates and teaches you right from wrong, makes you use logic and governorship by logic, once the left brain is occupied logically looking at, singing, dancing, whatever it is, and getting your attention, the right brain can be easily accessed. When the right brain can be easily accessed, interesting things happen. The right brain believes anything that it hears in your tenor of voice, your modulation of voice, your volume of voice, everything about your vibration. Anytime it hears it, it believes it. Under hypnosis, you deaden the left brain, the logical reasoning conspiracy brain, and you open up the right brain. Drugs can do it, but a simple thing like using the spoken word can now do it too. Because in many of these places, they are wired for sound that you do not hear. They're wired to work on a frequency that the left brain doesn't pick up, but the right brain does. I have a workshop, and that's the way I got through school so fast people couldn't understand. In fact, they accused me of cheating. I didn't have to cheat because the Creator had already cheated for me. I found out an easy way to access the right brain, which forgets nothing, and how to tag it, call it up when I need it. It's still doing it, but now it's doing it without your control. The key is to be able to control the genie, the jinn, the wonderful spiritual inside you that begs for freedom and gets locked up. Your right brain can do just about anything you imagine because it is your key to spirit, mind, and soul. Through the pineal gland, and the king's chamber and the lower queen's chamber, which is nothing but the hypothalamus of the two biggest organs and glands in your body that separates you from the beast and everything else, and they deaden it. So once you're occupied with the left brain, they can now send down a high frequency signal to your right brain. You won't even it's been implanted, and you'll carry out every instruction that it gives you because your governor is off. Your modulator is gone. And then they tell you to forget that it was gone if you remember to forget. Huh? I love playing with you because they already are. I do it with love. They do it with malice, aforethought, and hate, and envy. Worse than that, they envy you. You don't even know why you're envying, but you are. Anything that speeds up 6 times over and becomes a blur is what your right brain hears. Anything below that is what your left brain, logical brain hears, and your right brain just goes to sleep and say, well, it's another foolish day. Another day I can sleep because the people ain't ready. They're not operating on a vibration fast enough. Well, in spite and despite of you, the planet is now going to operate on a frequency that's fast enough. And if you don't catch up, you're going to die. You're going to die anyway. But you'll die faster if you can't keep in synchronous, in harmony, in vibrational rational with the planet. Your planet is speeding up its vibrational rate. It's creating a magnetic field. Magnetism is for the spiritual people. It's for people with souls. It's what our planet used to have before the moon was put here, before all the Dracons came here and tried to make it part of their galaxy and tried to create humanoids, succeeded in one, failed in the other, but they're still trying. I just told you a lot right there. I don't know how many of you heard me, but I tried. At this time, there's a battle between the draconic forces called snake people, alligator people, reptile people, whatever you want to call them, that are egg-born, have no souls, and the soul womb-borns who are just beginning to find out how you fought the battle and licked them before, but now they're licking you, and you know what they're licking you in. Because it's a time when you're going backwards instead of forwards. And as you try to awaken, they put more stress on you. Reverse mortgages, subprime loans, bills sending twice a month to you, taxes overtaxing, depleted uranium, shots, vaccines. Here comes the next flu. Here comes the next epidemic. Here's something going to fall on your head from space. Anything to keep you so stressed out that you cannot take time to meditate and to think. Anything to make you think that material things are the only thing you have in life when you were born here to learn that the spiritual value is what you really must come back to.
Oh, man. Much love.
I'm going to expose some things about fluoride. Why have we been told we have fluoride in the drinking water? Prevent tooth decay. You were told that too, right? Yes. So was I. What is fluoride? Why do we have it in the drinking water? You know, this one was really confusing to me because when I began to study fluoride and I found out how insidious the poison was, I couldn't imagine how scientists in their right mind or even in their wrong mind could even figure out why you would put fluoride in the drinking water. This is published by the American Dental Association. All right? And the title of this is Fluoride Helps Prevent Tooth Decay. Today, more than 120 million people, representing over 50% of the population, are served by fluoridated water supplies in the United States. 50% of the people in the United States have fluoridated water in their water supplies. Congratulations, they've done a good job. I want to find out what fluoride really is. So I am going to go to resources. How about medical physiology? It's a book that all dentists have in their library. Fluoride is also a natural component of tooth enamel and bone. In other words, fluoride is something that's necessary. It's part of metabolism, right? Fluoride does not seem to be a necessary element for metabolism. Well, fluoride helps teeth become more resilient to decay by strengthening tooth enamel. Fluoride does not make the teeth themselves stronger. There is also evidence that fluoride strengthens the bones and thus may help to prevent such degenerative diseases as osteoporosis. Has nothing to do with teeth, but osteoporosis. Excessive intake of fluorine causes fluorosis, which is manifest in the mild state by mottled teeth and in a more severe state by enlarged bones. As a medical journalist, I just can't accept that. I mean, there's too many things that are too far off the wall. I've got to go to another source. How about the Townsend newsletter, May 1990? Just recent information. This is a letter from doctors communicating with doctors. All right? The National Toxicology Program, now that sounds pretty good. Study fact sheet dated January 22nd, 1990, recent. Under the auspices of the United States Public Health Service, good, has linked fluoride to fluorosis and cancer. 1985 Procter & Gamble report, they've got a vested interest in this. Obtained October 4th, 1989, from the Department of Health and Human Services, also links fluoride to cancer. John R. Lee, medical doctor, says the strength of the fluoride cancer link is greater than that which resulted in the banning of Alar red dye number 3 or cyclamate. David Kennedy, DDS, San Diego, California, says fluorides do not reduce tooth decay. Is he the only one? Dr. Hardwick and D.M. Bunting of Turner Dental School says the changes in the number of lesions or cavities were not significant in 1 or 2 parts per million of fluoride supplementation. Why do we have fluoride in the water if it isn't working? Canada, the areas which report the lowest incidence in decay are the unfluoridated areas. I'm beginning to smell a rat.
Oh man, that's creepy. Good people of Earth, thanks for watching up to this far. You see, where do you get your water from? Because you get it from the river down there. Yours, where do you get it from? The river also, or the tap? Is it fluorinated? Leave some comments. Hit the like button if you haven't, and spread love across the whole world. Peace and love to you, and thanks for watching. You are loved. Keep it tuned for another episode that will be coming soon your way. Goodbye. Much love to you, man. Yo, we are out.